How do you do? Mr. Carl Lemley feels it would be a little unkind to present this picture without just a word of friendly warning. We are about to unfold the story of Frankenstein, a man of science who sought to create a man after his own image without reckoning upon God. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. It deals with the two great mysteries of creation, life and death. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, we've warned you.
Here's some spooky experiences that I remember from my childhood. The first one didn't happen to me. It's something that my mother told me about. Her mother died in 1959. A few years later, she remembers waking up in the middle of the night and hearing her mother calling her name. This always gave me the chills, especially if I thought about it at night. When I was maybe 6 or 7, something happened that scared the living daylights out of me. I can still picture it in my mind. A short time after I went to bed, I was lying there awake, and I looked up at my bedroom door, which was closed. There was a window across the room from the door. The curtains were open, and the moonlight was shining through the window and making a square of light on the door. In the middle of the square of light, I saw the shadow of a hand slowly moving back and forth. I was so scared that all I could do was just stare at it. I was trying to scream, but no sound would come out. Finally, I managed to get my voice to work, and I yelled as loud as I could, "Mom!" My mother came running in, and I told her what I saw. I don't remember if she saw the shadow too. Probably not. She didn't see anything outside, and she shut the curtains. Now, there were no trees right outside my window that were close enough that they would make a shadow. Not to mention that this did not look like a tree branch. It was definitely the distinct shape of a human hand. Looking back on this as an adult, I realized that this was most likely not anything supernatural at all, but someone actually trying to break into our house, which, quite frankly, is more scarier than a mere ghost. When I started screaming, the person heard me and ran away. Shortly after the previous incident, I asked my parents if I could move into the room across from that one. Gee, I wonder why. My new room had a little trap door in the closet, leading to an attic of sorts. My parents never used it for storage, as it was too hard to go up there through the trap door, and it most likely wasn't even high enough to walk upright in. When I was about 10 or 11, my best friend and I were playing in my room, and we noticed that the trap door was open about an inch or so. We slid it closed. Every once in a while, I'd look up there and find that it was open again. I'd keep sliding it closed, and then a few days later, it would be open. My friend and I naturally assumed that we had a ghost in the attic. I really don't remember if I actually heard anything up there or not. Around the same time, this same friend would occasionally spend the night with me. Several times, we'd be lying in bed and hear the sound of a newspaper or some sort of paper being crumpled up in the living room when we knew no one else was up. We called this the newspaper ghost. Another time, I think I was about 7. I was riding my bike around in circles in the street. This was in a housing development where there was very little traffic. My aunt, uncle, and cousins were visiting, and I recall looking at the bathroom window on the side of our house and seeing my aunt's face looking out the window. Later, I mentioned it to my aunt, and she said she hadn't been looking out the bathroom window, and neither had anyone else. Now, I realized that this could have easily been a reflection of something in the window. At the same time, it seemed pretty spooky to me. In the summer of '69, I was about 13. We had some relatives staying at our house for about a week. One evening, after everyone had gone to bed, I was still awake. As a child, it always took me a long time to get to sleep. I was always too wound up, I guess. Anyway, all of a sudden, there was this loud crash that came from my closet, like something metal or aluminum falling on the untiled floor. The thing that came to mind was a metal vacuum cleaner hose. There was no vacuum cleaner or any other large metal object in my closet that could have fallen and made such a noise, and even if there was, what would have made it fall off the shelf? I was too scared to get up and look in my closet or go and ask anyone if they'd heard it. Now, this was a small 3-bedroom house in Levittown, Pennsylvania. If anyone is familiar with the houses, if a loud noise occurs in any part of the house, it would be impossible not to hear it all over the house. The next morning, I asked my parents, aunt and uncle and cousins if they heard a loud crash in the night, and no one else had heard it. And by the way, I looked in my closet in the morning, and nothing was out of place. This has always puzzled me.